Hello, all you wonderful furrers turning in tonight. I'm Ryan Eastman, and I'd like to welcome you back to the 2000 FBA draft. We inch ever closer to the start of the 2017-2018 season, but tonight, most importantly, 24 players will take their first steps in a hopefully long and fulfilling FBA career. Tonight we will be showing the 24th the first 24 picks of the FBA draft will be tonight. Tomorrow, same time, we will begin with the 25th pick and go to the 48th pick. Joining me in the booth tonight, I have Diablo Chavez III and James Witherspoon. How are you two gentlemen doing tonight?
I'm doing all right.
I'm ready to get barking. Bark, bark.
So, you two gentlemen, I have commentated both of the FBA draftee combine games. What about your two opinions regarding the draftees? Any players in particular you are looking at going forward?
I'll let Diablo go first.
All right. Well, for me, I'm especially going to be watching out for Jalen Rose and Leon Delmont, who seem to be two very interesting players, both high prospects, both look ready to play in the league right now, and both had pretty good showings in the draft combine games.
Sorry, I'm fixing something real quick.
No problem.
If you want to keep going, Witherspoon. Witherspoon?
Did we lose him?
Yeah, it appears we did.
Sorry. No, you didn't lose me. Sorry. Microphone thing. It happens.
Stop trying to lift the microphone.
Someone didn't press the right buttons over there. Bark, bark.
Or maybe you should stop trying to lick the microphone.
Shut up. But anyway, yes, I'm looking at Leon Delmont and also someone else. I forgot what I was saying because, of course, someone didn't press the right button. Something tells me there's going to be a lot of bad button pushing tonight. But yeah, Leon Delmont. I'm also looking at what's that kid's name? I believe people call him Burger King or something like that.
Lucas Berger Kane.
Yeah, Lucas Berger King. He's looking really good out there too.
I think he'll be an interesting player to watch in the league.
Yeah, he's someone will be interesting. Will be interesting to watch in the league, and also like I said, we got 24 people going into the draft early this year. One thing I definitely want to see is who's going to be one of the surprise picks this year. Like who in the later round, like in the cusp or in the deeper in the pool, might be going in the first round, surprisingly.
I think that Frank Wang has a pretty good chance of going in the first round. This may just be my personal opinion, but I think that many teams value defense and many teams need to get better defense in this league. And Frank Wang has the qualities needed to improve teams' defense. He's a great defensive player, knows how to work in a system. May not be the best on offense, but he can always grow there.
Yeah, it sort of reminds me of that. I've had an interview with.
Our audio listeners are not getting any volume from you two. It's not your problem. I'm just gonna be quiet for a couple minutes trying to fix it. So.
Oh.
I apologize. I may have just broken everyone.
Oh no. We've been broken.
No.
It's fine. I'm looking.
Them tech guys need to start getting to work.
But everyone tuning in on our video stream can hear you, so if you want to continue.
Okay. They can hear.
Well,
No, the video stream can, but the audio only can.
Okay. Well, dang, that kind of would have been nice for some clarity there. No offense. But Yeah, he's definitely a specialty player that could probably be a really good asset to a team. May not score a lot of points, may not do all that much, but can definitely help you out in a pinch. Or bark. But as for like, we've heard enough about the players. We know all the players. We've seen how good they are in the combine. Now we need to translate that to the actual teams. Like, who's going to go where? What do they need? What are they looking at?
Well, Dakota needs just about everything right now. That team has been stripped down to the bare bones.
So the Taproot too. They've been stripped down to almost a
Yes,
couple star
that's what's
players like
happened.
Neil Lime, Travis Buckner, just to name a few.
People already know my opinion on the Taproots from a few Twitter posts and my article, but I will say they are completely out of their mind. I don't know what they're doing. I could not tell you what they have decided to do. I could not tell you who they might even pick. For as they have shown us so far, they are definitely an unexpected team.
Yeah, I don't even think my nose could sniff them out. Or sniff out what they're going to pick because they traded their first round pick from last year and they had a #1 pick in that young man Eric Toyo.
Well, he
And now
wanted
they're-
out, so that he had to go. But
This is true.
They could have gotten so much better for him. Instead, they got back a player that is probably either on par or worse than him, who is paid more than him, and the cap space that they get back doesn't even cover their new player's salary.
Well, that's
Okay.
neither here nor there, but we'll see what they do.
Audio back for both of us. Fixed it. Everyone is good to go. That everyone can hear you again.
Yay! The artist didn't cross the streams. You saw that movie, right? I mean, that was a great movie in the 80s.
Some of us weren't alive then. Sorry, old man.
You are quite old.
Brrr.
But anyway, sorry. I came back in. I
I
had
am
to take
not
my
old, I am
headphones
mature.
off.
I am not old, I am mature. Get it right. Brrr.
Old.
Mature. Young whippersnappers and your fancy new toys these days. And actually, speaking of new toys, just throwing this out there, the GMs are out on the floor, and apparently they've been giving these special OPads that will allow them to talk with other GMs across the floor without having to get up from their seats, so they can watch the draft and enjoy, and also talk possible picks or trades later. Hey,
Where are you
Technology
getting
these
this
days, people.
information from?
I have my sources. I'm maybe an old dog, but I know a couple things. Pardon me,
Wow.
mature dog.
You said it yourself.
Whatever.
Sorry about that.
How are we
That
doing?
audio threw me off for the longest goddamn time. I know I missed most of your conversation. Hang on,
Alright.
people are having some issues apparently on the video stream, even though some people are saying they're hearing it perfectly fine. So
This is quite interesting. Well, as every year seems to happen, it appears we are going to have some technical issues.
or people need to upgrade their internet.
Well, there's nothing we can do about that.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately. Pardon me a second. I am being told something by a constituent of mine, so I will be right back.
And barring
Please
all that
continue on,
technical difficulties, I think we're gonna head on over to the stage. I'm sure. I believe I see our new commissioner getting ready to head on to the stage. In fact.
evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all furries tuning in. My name is my name is Hugo Alexander Livingston III, and it is my express pleasure to welcome you to Las Vegas and the 2017-2018 Furry Basketball Association Draft. Before we begin the program, there are a few bits of housekeeping that we need to be taking care of. Arguably, the most important bit of business is the very, very last thing to close out last year's season. It has been a time-honored tradition for each commissioner to announce one last end-of-season award at the next season's draft. This, of course, is the Contributor of the Year award. This award is awarded to the individual the commissioner feels went out over and above and beyond the call of duty in the previous year. It's awarded to the person he thinks showed the most tenacity in the face of trouble, the most gumption in the face of disagreement, and quite frankly, helps to keep the league together. This year's recipient of the award is, of course, Faded Forest. Faded has worked above and beyond to get Sports Den off the ground. He's put in countless hours in helping to update the wiki, and over the break, he's worked tirelessly on getting us a brand new engine. He's already been a huge support in the new role of Deputy Commissioner, and I hope that you all join me in congratulating him. Congratulations, Faded Forest. All right. Well, we do have some other business to clean up before the start of this draft. I do have some announcements here. 2 retirements have just been processed. Jamie Velasquez is announcing her retirement from the league. And Christopher Schweichenberger is announcing his retirement from the league as well. Thank you both for your service here in the Furry Basketball Association. I have one last thing here to announce that have just been handed to me as well. I have... this is kind of a trade at the 11th hour here, but the Bangor Tides have initiating a trade giving up Sho Masaru, Lank Mange, Logan Green, and their 3rd overall pick in the 2017 FBA draft to the Arizona Whips. In return, the Arizona Whips have traded their 7th overall pick in the 2017 FBA draft, their 1st round pick in 2018, and Lance Wildfire, who has agreed to a $20/21 million contract in a sign and trade deal. Well, that's all the news prior to the draft. Once 8 o'clock rolls around, Dakota will be, Dakota will be put on the clock. So you have about 2 minutes to prepare for that. And I will be returning very, very shortly once they have made their pick. Thank you very much.
So, the dead air following that apparent
Well
bombshell as he walks off the stage.
Well then, that is, I will say, a complete surprise to me. Or, well, no, I should rephrase. That is not as much as a surprise, but the team that he's ending up on is a surprise to me.
So, I guess before the 1 minute we have before all the fun starts, what just happened there? Lance Wildfire agreed to a sign and trade deal. Basically, it allowed him to sign with a team before FA offers technically could be accepted. That is one of the policies we have in the FBA, that players can accept a sign and trade deal anytime from the end of the season until the end of FA. Most of the time we don't see something like that. I hope we hear from Lance at some point why he decided to accept such a deal. I have some belief that it may be his own conscience of trying not to abandon Arizona.
That is actually in my article that I had previously written. that was actually one of the things I suggested that Arizona do, is propose a sign-in trade for Lance to get them something back in return. What I did not expect is they would be able to reach that they would be giving up next year's pick in order to get him to Bangor and get their third pick.
Well, Bangor gave up their starting point guard, their starting small forward, and then their prospect, Logan Green. So
Even still, Lance Wildfire was basically, he was a top 3 player in the league.
I'd argue top 5, but that's semantics at that point. But the point I guess I want to get onto, the clock has started for Dakota, by the way. It did strike 8 o'clock.
All right.
So, point is, I think Arizona came out on top. Yes, they gave up a pick next year, but considering they were going to get nothing possibly if Lance left, that would they definitely won something. They got a consolation prize, and I can't say the consolation prize is terrible.
Oh no, it's not half bad.
It's not half bad at all.
Now, why was Bangor willing to give up so much? I think it had to do with that cap space. Basically, if you look at Shao, Blanc, and Logan, if you add all their cap together, it equals Lance's cap. So that's
They're
not.
still basically at the same point then.
Yeah, I mean, there's no point, but they didn't
But
take on more
they also
cap.
lost players. They also lost players as well.
They
Which means
did.
They're gonna have to make up for those.
No doubt they will. How they make up for it, we'll have to see. But Lance, if you say is top 5, that definitely might help them.
Yeah, he might help attract some more free agents to them.
It might attract some, yeah, definitely. Especially if you want to create a team around Lance Wildfire for the next couple of years while he's still under contract. That will definitely,
He's only there
take
for
a
2
bite out of
years,
the
though.
competition.
Yeah.
He's only there for 2
Yeah, but-
years.
Yeah, but
Well-
that's 2 years to take a bite out of all the competition in the league. So
I
you
mean,
never
most
know.
contracts are 2 years basically at this point.
But that could basically mean he could return to Arizona after 2 years. Now that Arizona has a viable team to build around.
Or in 2
Exactly.
years, he could go chase more money elsewhere.
He
Who
doesn't
knows?
seem like the type to me to chase money.
Well, we have already wasted 2 minutes on the clock for Dakota. Let's talk about Dakota real fast. What do we think Dakota needs to go for in this draft? They obviously are missing every single spot on their
Everything.
roster.
They need everything. If they could just draft 12 players right now, I think that's what they should do. Because they
That would be a
need
really
everything.
bad team. I'm sorry. These rookies, I'm not even sure can tie their shoes yet.
But
and
I mean,
actually, it looks like the pick might be in. I see the elephant trotting back onto the stage.
stomping.
Well, you general managers are certainly putting me on my toes in my first year. I have another trade to announce, which affects this current pick. A trade has been negotiated by the Bangor Tides to give up Benjamin Dovey and the 7th overall pick in the 2017 FBA draft to the Dakota Bikers. In return, the Bikers have given the Tides their 1st overall pick and Cassidy Whitelatch. So I suppose in this case, we could reset the clock back to 3 minutes and allow the Tides their own draft pick. Yes, I think that's what we'll do. I will be returning very, very shortly. Thank you.
Well,
That-
what is going on?
This draft has started off with some insanity. Huh?
So
At this rate, it seems we won't be finished until late into the night.
question is, will Bangor make another trade for the 1st overall
Next,
pick?
well, here they've traded for picks number 2 and 5 for pick number 1.
Who knows?
Please
So
don't.
Bangor deciding to move up, down 4 spots and now back up 6.
I feel like this is an extremely unbalanced trade, though.
How many trades can Bangor make
So-
if Bangor can make trades?
Derby, I agree, is a bit of a gem, even though he underperformed on Bangor between Blanc and Kadane, and they were paying him $14 million to play a tertiary role. So this might be them clearing cap space to go after maybe Randy, because we've seen how
I feel like the Bikers were being far too generous in this.
potentially, definitely. I mean,
Giving up the number 1 overall pick for a player who's being paid $14 million, and even if he is a gem, is only going to be in his 3rd year and hasn't shown us that much.
True. I will say, looking at the top prospects in this league for this draft, there are shooting guard Casper. If Dakota's trying to keep Sylvius, going after Casper could cause problems with that. Jalen Rose is a small forward. If they're going after Dylan Redfield, that could cause problems. About the only person they could go after would be Delmont, but he's an 18-year-old who they may not trust giving the entire point guard position to.
Oh, and here it looks like here he comes. Let's see if he gives us another trade.
Maybe it's another trade.
Maybe. Mark.
Hello again. For the first pick of the 2017 FBA draft, the Bangor Tides have selected Leon Delmont, a guard cougar from Syracuse, Indiana. Congratulations to you, Leon, for being the number 1 pick of the 2017 FBA draft. I will return for the next pick when the Albany Alphas have confirmed their selection, and I do believe that the Arizona Whips now? I'm not quite sure. Are going to be on deck. Thank you.
Okay. I'm just as confused as the commissioner seems to be right now.
So, while the Albany Alphas are on the clock, let us try and dissect why they would pick Leon at number 1.
They already have a point guard now in Lance Wildfire.
So, I believe Steinberg pointed out in his report that he felt Bangor needed to go after a shooting guard. Delmont is a combo guard, so they may be thinking to play him at shooting guard next to Lance.
Maybe, but he is a point guard because he handles the ball mostly. Yes, he can shoot, but he is a ball-dominant point guard, I feel.
That is definitely true. Do you think Bangor might be trying to go for a 2-guard pillar set? Instead of relying on one player, having 2 players able to...
Or maybe they're trying to make up for Lance's shortness by bringing in a player who's, over a foot taller than him.
I wasn't going to mention it, but yes, Leon is 14 inches taller than Lance. So double-teaming Lance.
Yes. So this is going to create matchup nightmares for opposing teams. And if they bring him off the bench, well, then they basically have 2 high-caliber point guards on their team to run the offense. They don't need any other players. They have all their points right here. And if I remember correctly, Leon was a pretty good 3-point shooter from what we saw.
Yeah, he definitely played well in the draft. However, moving forward, let's quickly switch over to Albany. Obviously, we'll see how these players develop over time. Albany Alphas, they are probably gritting their teeth that Leon's off the board because I think they really wanted to get a point guard this draft.
Mm-hmm. Since they selected a point guard last time, and that, as we've seen, did not work out in the greatest.
No, it is a unfortunate.
Fact, they did select a point guard with their number 1 overall pick last time.
2 years ago.
Yep.
But, so does that mean you think Teddy Delgado is going to go then, since he is the highest rated point guard left on the board?
Maybe. Or they may go after Nagoy because he is a really good playmaking forward. They might try and play him at point guard. That would be interesting.
Possible, but I think
they might reach as well. We don't know, since so far what we've seen has defied all expectations.
Yeah, Witherspoon, what do you think? I think someone's gonna make a trade.
Maybe Bangor might trade again. Use this as trade bait against Albany.
Maybe. Witherspoon, you still with us?
Witherspoon.
Oh,
Sorry, microphone muted. One of my guys
More
trying to give
licking.
me a scoop on something.
More licking. Gosh darn.
No, someone was trying to give me a scoop on something, but holy crud. I have no idea what to say except I don't know, they'll probably divide by 0 and maybe reach deep and pick up someone that we weren't expecting. I mean, this is the FBA draft. Shenanigans have been known to happen from what I've heard in the past. Mark.
and the Albany Alphas select pork sandwiches son. Pork slider.
I thought that was turkey
slider.
I thought that was turkey sandwich.
Turkey slider.
No, turkey slider. It's a mini thing.
Yeah, turkey slider, yeah.
But yeah, if I was Albany,
Did he ended up marrying He ended up marrying pork slider.
um,
But I heard.
I was gonna say, back to seriousness.
That's going to a really weird place.
I think the alphas.
Are the alphas selected?
No, they have not yet. They still have a
Maybe
little.
they'll try and trade. I think they might try and trade for Leon if they could.
They could. They definitely could make that move, or they could try and pick someone that they use as trade bait for later.
Everyone's going to be using everyone for trade bait.
Maybe even Roger Macias trade bait.
I think
who
I
knows?
see-
No, he's not coming up yet. I'm still waiting on information to come to me personally. Because
We're all waiting for information to come to us.
I think the old elephant may be forgetting things. It seems he left the envelope not in his hands, and he has to go hunt it down.
Oh, I thought elephants were supposed to have good memories.
Good until they turn 60, and then they forget everything.
65.
Forget everything. Isn't that the name of that one?
Isn't that the name of this draft? Forget everything and go crazy.
I thought it was the name of that one song that
Hang on, I gotta dismiss the alarm. The alarm is not done. Okay. Sorry, I was getting buzzed that it sounds like they are getting close
To finding the envelope.
to finding the envelope.
Maybe they should try pushing the envelope.
Okay, it looks
doing
like
something.
he has found it, and I see him running on the stage as fast as the elephant can.
Oh god, that's an ungodly sight.
Earthquake!
Sorry about that. New day jitters, as it were. For the second pick of the 2017 FBA draft, the Albany Alphas have selected Niran Panichkul, a center fishing cat from Miami State University. Congratulations to Niran on being the second pick of the 2017 FBA draft, and I will return for the next pick when the Arizona Whips have made their selection. Biloxi Voodoo is on deck. Thank you.
Well, it looks like yet again we have been bemused and bested.
I'm calling shenanigans.
Yeah, a little bit of a. We talked. Actually, you said reaching. I think this might be a little bit of a reach. Niran was, I think, ranked in the top 10 or just at the top 10 cusp.
He was ranked number 8.
Okay, so
He was the highest ranked center, though.
and that might be why we see him going so early.
The next highest ranked was Freddie Varnaghi at number 19.
Honestly, I don't really think this is really all that big of a surprise because currently on their roster, don't they have that one woolly mammoth? What's his name?
Timur.
Tomlin. Tamar. Yeah.
Tomlin.
Yeah,
that
Tamar
Tamar
Tomlin
Tomlin-
is getting closer and closer to not being a starter.
You
Yeah, and they
mean
also-
I think he's already at that point.
And they also have James Verstreekel, so that's not really a lot of center depth.
I
for
guess it would make sense for them to draft a center, but
Well, Timur is
really-
not under contract, so.
I really think that they
Oh,
could
it's
have
not?
grabbed
Oh.
one in free agency because a point guard is what they really need.
Unless they think they can get a point guard in free agency, there are a couple good ones out there.
Are they going to try and trade for Lance? After he's just been traded.
No, but they could go after
Roger
Derek
Mason
Kim.
for Lance? Anyone? Roger Umechi for Lance?
Maybe.
Don't give him ideas.
This has been the Biloxi's this has been the Bangor's plan all along to get Roger Umechi.
Perhaps. But let's move on to Arizona. Arizona, they just had a big roster shift of their own. They've moved up to 3rd pick overall. They have now a point guard in theory that they can go with Shao. They also have...
I think they're going after Casper.
I would
Because they don't
agree.
have a shooting guard.
Remy
They-
is
they-
not under contract. I was about to say.
They don't have a dependable shooting guard. They have a center who they're going to resign, who is Morgan. Everyone knows this. It's written in ink already, basically.
Yeah, it's written in ink and finalized. They just have to wait for the actual second round affairs so they can process it and send it to the commissioner and have it stamped approved.
You say that, but money makes people talk.
But not Morgan. Morgan, as we've seen, is stuck in this city, and I think this is where his heart is. So I definitely think Casper is going to be going next.
It definitely would make sense, like you were saying. Now that they, in theory, have point guard, small forward, power forward if they move Blanc to power forward, and then, again, if you're saying Morgan McCarthy at center, that does leave Casper.
They might go for Lucas Berger Kane.
Berger King.
Berger
Kane.
They might go for him if they want to get some defense and a player who can get them free throws. But I think they're going to go for shooting guard.
They might also go for that Gold kid, Jamie Charles Gold or something like that.
He's more forward base.
He is. It's a question of, I guess, if Arizona plans to keep around their bear at their small forward position. I believe he's on his last year of his contract, if I remember correctly.
I believe so.
But
I believe so, yeah.
the other option could be if they go after Tate Delgado. Are they assuming that, because he could potentially play shooting guard as well. Again, we talk about these combo guards. He's
more of a point guard.
He is more of a point guard. However, he attempted to shoot plenty of times during the combine
he attempted and failed multiple times, which would only hurt his team. They already have a good point guard. They don't need another one unless they're trying to stack up point guards and try and convince to trade back for Lance. Who knows? Lance goes right back to them. This was their plan to get him back before free agency.
Well,
That
besides
might be their
some
plan, who knows?
weird magical go-around pick.
I seriously think that Bangor has been drugging people's drinks to get these trades off.
It might be that. I don't know. I might have to check the water. Hey, you come here. Can you check this water for me real quick? Just take a sip and see if you feel any drugging or anything like that.
No drugging the interns.
I'm not drugging the interns. I'm just
Stop
making
trying
sure
to
that.
drug Timmy.
Okay, it's good. No druggy side effects. You're good.
Well, he's laying
All
on
right,
the
you're
floor,
good.
passed out. So
That's because you worked him to death. Leave him alone. Let him take his nap.
Yeah, he
can
needs a little
lay,
power
though.
nap. Everyone needs a power nap these days.
Yeah.
Even old elephants and old dogs and.
Oh God!
I mean,
Did the
mature
commissioner fall
dogs.
asleep? Did the commissioner fall asleep?
Oh no! Don't even ask how I got that high. I have no idea.
I think a poor commissioner has just wiped himself out with 2 picks already with all the excitement.
Well, like I said, it's the FBA draft. That's always exciting.
Well, looks like someone's poked him and woken him up. I see him shambling towards the stage.
Ah, here he comes.
Here he comes.
For the 3rd pick of the 2017 FBA draft, the Arizona Whips have selected Jamie Charles Gold, a forward guard Yellow Bellied Wizard from Edinburgh University. Congratulations to you, Jamie, on being the number 3 pick of the 2017 FBA draft. I'll return for the next pick when the Biloxi Voodoo have confirmed their selection and the Plymouth Taproots are on deck. Thank you very much.
Well, it seems that every team is determined to prove us wrong today.
No
So
surprise
it
there.
would seem.
They just, I think GMs have planted a bug in here, and they are intentionally trying to make us look foolish. So I am going to
that's
say
the
you are
cheating spot.
drafting Rashid Kibor next.
Nope.
But
Obviously, they're going to draft Chris Johnson.
But I guess let's
They're
talk
gonna
about the
draft
merit
somebody.
of JC being picked up. A little surprising. Maybe they plan to trade away their bear. That could be a possibility. I'm trying to look at how much of his contract it is. I believe it's for around 10 million. It is 11.5 million.
It's an expensive contract.
So in theory, I guess they could try and move him out.
Who would they pawn him off onto?
I don't know. Steal some of Bangor's water and then find someone.
Use it against them.
Maybe. Yes, try and get Bangor to trade for them. Since they basically gave up land.
Essentially, yeah.
And they allowed Bangor to maneuver into the #1 overall pick.
Well, I don't think they expected Dakota to sell the pick. So
I don't think anyone's expecting what Dakota's doing.
I don't think anyone's expecting anything in this draft anymore because
We did hear that Dakota is having a change of ownership, or not ownership, but
general
change
manager
of front office. So maybe that's part of the problem.
or part of the solution. Who knows? Or
Maybe
they could
it's
just be
the owner
fire
thing.
selling everything for all we know.
Just trying to burn everything and gain money for next year.
Possibly.
Well, considering the fact that Dakota did try to burn rubber last year, but they ended up having a flat tire. Well, yeah, I mean they got to start rebuilding to rebuild that championship vibe that they used to have. Because more
Yes,
likely,
but
right
they've wiped
below-
their entire roster and are deciding apparently to commit witchcraft and just throw everything to the wind.
Yeah.
#1 overall pick. Who needs it? We got the #7 now. And
Well, with-
Adia was being paid $14 million, which takes up about, let me see, 1/6 of our cap space.
Yeah, with the 2 minutes and 30 seconds burn off the clock, though, let's move on to BLV and who they're gonna pick.
Biloxi.
Honestly, I was going to say if Niren was still on the board, I thought they might go for him, but I think they're gonna try and grab Drax, or not Drax, sorry, Jason Rose, since Brandon
Jalen?
Drivas.
You mean
Jalen Rode,
Jalen?
Jason Rode, who knows who they are. The
Jason
big dragon.
Rode. Jason Rode.
Rose, the small forward, could be a good replacement for Brandon Drivas since he's slipped all the way to 5. 4.
Well, with how the thing's looking, I'm guessing that, they who knows? They might go for Kasper Kusick at this rate.
That would be a surprise considering they have Feckle. I don't know if you
Yeah,
want to piss her
but-
off, but they could move Feckle back to forward, to be honest. So it could be Casper. Casper wouldn't be a bad pick.
And Tanya, no offense, hasn't done that well at shooting guard.
Yeah, could go for Delgado as well. They do need a point guard with Aragon Fisher out of contract.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that would mean giving up on him, and I believe did they not offer a contract to him?
No, they haven't yet. I've checked my sources on that already.
Oh,
I know there is a contract out for him, but I forgot which team that is.
No,
Yes.
but they do have an offer out to Derek Kim. And if they drafted a point guard, that would be a shot in Derek Kim's face.
it would, unless they're going for depth of some kind. But
No, because
Nothing
at
wrong
this
with
high in the
it.
draft, if you're drafting someone, you're drafting them to start. You won't draft your #5 overall pick to have them sit on the bench.
Well, at least not for long.
They're pursuing Lee Evans as well. So I think they were banking on getting a center because they haven't pursued any centers.
This is true. They might
I
go
think
for.
this puts a cog. I think this puts a cog in their plans.
possibly,
They
yes.
could probably go for what's that kid's name? I'm trying to look at my cliff notes here. They might try to go for like someone like Darian Baptiste or someone like that. Someone who's a big or Henrik Fischer.
Maybe they'll go after. Who's that center? Freddie Barnegie.
This might be this might be one of the times where we see a team reach deep into the depths of the draft pool to pick someone out. And it could be a gem. It could be.
Chris Johnson, anyone?
It could even be an old bone. Who knows?
That's only you would dig deep for.
Bark, 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 bark. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's just bark, 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 bark.
And it looks like he's heading onto the floor now.
For the number 4 pick of the 2017 FBA draft, the Biloxi Voodoo have selected Kaspar Kusik, a shooting guard from Parnu, Estonia. He's a Eurasian Lynx. Congratulations to you, Kaspar, on being the number 4 pick of the 2017 FBA draft. He'll return for the next pick when the Plymouth Tappers have confirmed their selection. After that is the Texas Lone Stars. Thank you very much.
Did I call it, or did I call it?
Finally, a team making some sense on the floor.
Or not so much sense, potentially.
If compared to everyone else, yes.
But finally, they are. I have picked the correct player. Let's see if this continues.
Excuse me one sec. The water's kind of going through me. I'll be back in a couple minutes. I might miss a pick or two. So
that's perfectly fine. We'll actually be bringing in Andy Peltz coming in from Cali in a minute. As we go into the Plymouth Taproots and their pick in this draft. Last year they selected Eric Toivonen. As I know you were ranting, you were not happy with the trade. Who do you think they go this year, hopefully, that will last a little bit longer on their team?
I honestly couldn't tell you. But at this point, I would have to go with Jalen Rose, just because this team seems to be a team that only sees the stars. They can only see the bright lights and ignore everything else beneath them. They have not chosen smart. They have not traded smart. They have not offered smart. This team, no offense, just isn't smart.
Okay, let's tone that back just a little bit.
I'm
there.
sorry, but their picks make no sense to me, so I'd have to go with Jalen Rose because he's the next highest player on the list. He's the next star caliber player. Who knows? Maybe they try and play him at power forward.
Yeah, that could work. He is 6'11", so...
and from what he showed us in the Combine, he can do everything.
Definitely. I think Andy Peltz is joining us in now. How you doing tonight?
Andy.
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. It's great to be here.
Andy, it's good to see you.
We'll hear him. He is across the country
Yeah.
right now. Just over the mountains.
Oh,
Yes.
how do you know I don't have a video conference set up?
Because I can look
Well,
over your shoulder.
Well, I appreciate you guys phoning me in. Obviously, I would love to be there with you guys in the studio.
We'd love to have you here. Sad that you couldn't get here in time.
So Andy, Plymouth on the clock. Who do you think they're going to select with their 5th overall pick this year?
That the beginning of the show just absolutely baffled the entire population here in Sacramento. We're just floored.
Well, that doesn't tell me how Plymouth feels about who they're
Yes.
picking. Tell me, Andy, who is Plymouth going for? Are they going to reach? Or are they finally going to get Jalen Rose off the board?
Andy? Did we lose you, Andy? I think we lost him.
I think the earthquake sucked him into the sea.
God darn earthquakes. Well, I think potentially they could have to, if they are going to make sense and going to make a reasonable pick, they go after Tate Delgado. They don't have a point guard at the moment.
Yeah, they definitely... Tate Delgado would make sense here, as well as Again, Jalen Rose is not a bad pick here. He could move over to power forward at 6'11".
He could potentially, if from what we saw, play any position.
I mean, they could also go after Berger Kane. I don't know. That could be an option.
What use would they
Lucien
have for him?
Nagoy. You mentioned Nagoy earlier being a point
Yeah.
forward. Could come in and play.
But they already have Travis Buckner, who's pretty ball dominant.
True.
They could go after Irene and have her play at the power forward, and have her just be a scoring four.
Could be.
She definitely has the ability to score inside.
I believe they are getting ready. I see some
And-
movement on the floor. Or is it just an earthquake happening?
Did our commissioner just fall asleep? Oh no. I think the mic on the floor might have gone down. This isn't good.
Well, I think Andy made it back in. So,
Hey there.
Andy, welcome back.
what did I tell you about eating that microphone? I know it looks tasty, but
Everyone just seems to want to eat the microphones today. Why did we get these new ones?
No. It's totally the phone line connection. I mean, satellite.
stop going off alarm.
The wires. You need to stop chewing on the wires.
Solar flares. That's what's going on here.
Really now. Then how are solar flares affecting our in-studio communications?
Because solar flares mess with electronics. Duh.
I believe you are doing something called bullshitting us.
Hey, that's half of the battle in radio broadcasting.
Okay,
Oh.
I think someone has prodded the commissioner back up, and he's moving.
He's no longer dead to the world.
For the number 5 pick of the 2017 FBA draft, the Plymouth Taproots have selected
They have selected. Oh no!
Commissioner.
The microphone went out on him. I think I am getting confirmation that it was Tay Delgado that they selected. The commissioner will
Delgado?
hopefully. Yeah, Tay Delgado is confirmed the 5th pick in the 2015
Plymouth
17.
Taproots selected. Yep. The Plymouth Taproots selected Tay Delgado for all you listeners out there.
He will hopefully get some technical support there. Texas will be on the clock moving forward. On deck will be
Dakota Bikers.
correct. Maybe we'll see a magical trade happen out of them again.
Oh, I don't know if we can handle another one.
Maybe they'll trade back up to the 1st overall pick somehow.
Somehow the first overall pick will be rechosen.
Right. I don't know if I went out before I said it earlier, but everyone here in the studio in Sacramento was completely floored by the beginning
You
of the
did
show.
say that.
You got
did
to
say
do that part.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And Texas is officially on the clock now.
So what do the people of Sacramento think Texas is going to do?
You know, it's a little bit difficult to say. I mean, we've got some great players on the board. This entire draft class is going to infuse the league with a lot of great talent here. So, Texas, right? Texas.
Yeah, sorry,
Yes.
I flipped. Texas is on the clock.
Texas is on the okay. Just wanted to make sure I'm getting these straight here. So I believe they could potentially pick anyone on the board right now. Definitely. I've definitely been looking at players like Tavares. Tavares, I believe, is how that's pronounced. Tavares and who else was it? There was another player I was looking at. I'll find it here in a moment.
What
But
position did he play? Or she?
that is neither here nor there. I was looking for the Sanchez. That's right. Araceli Sanchez, the center that's just on the cusp. Those two players did stand out to me a little bit in the combine, just for words are hard to describe these two players.
It's okay. Words are hard to describe for most of this draft right now.
Well, the sanest part has been picks 4 or 5 so far, so I mean, if anything, hopefully we've gone back on the rails with these last couple picks and we aren't going to continue this descent into madness that was the first 3 picks.
Texas, I think, is going to be looking for a point guard now.
Which the 2 top ones are off the board.
Yes. I mean, who else is really a notable point guard? I think we've exhausted any notable names.
Blessing is the next point guard I really see popping out, and even that, I wouldn't necessarily rate her super high. Mary Catherine O'Hara had a good game, 2 games during the draftee combine games. Javi Triano.
I think we're going to definitely see a reach here because there's no one really that they can pick to play for them. Maybe they'll trade this pick.
I definitely thought about that, as they could trade down and try and get a point guard later.
Or they could, trade for Delgado. See if they could throw Plymouth something, since Plymouth seems willing to accept anything at this point.
They could. Trading down, they could also reach for a center, because I'm surprised we haven't seen a rush of centers yet.
They don't really need a center, though.
Everyone needs a center in the end of the day.
Yes, everyone needs a center, but they don't need a starting center. And using the number 6 overall pick to choose a backup player isn't a smart choice. We've seen that with when Texas reached for Merriam a couple of years ago, so many years ago.
One center that might get picked early here is Gage Williams. Gage Williams is currently ranked on the cusp as well. But I feel that this Shark may be in the 24 for this class. Just saying that. I'm putting it out there. I'm putting my neck on the line here.
I wouldn't put your neck on the line when there's a shark out there.
Especially one that's over 7 feet tall and could probably crush you.
Eat you in one bite.
Yeah.
Now, why would he want to do that?
He's a shark. You're a rat.
Excuse me, I am a pine martin. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, I can't see you right now. Still, you're short, he's tall. That's the basis
I think
of it.
The commissioner has figured out all of his issues. He's heading onto the stage right now, ready to announce the next pick.
For the number 7 pick of the 2017 FBA draft.
6.
Number 6 pick of the 2017 FBA draft. The Arizona Whips
Texas.
have selected
It's the Texas Lone Stars.
the Texas Lone Stars have selected. Who's in charge of giving me these things? Honestly, I'm beginning to take it personally now. For the number 6 pick of the 2017 FBA draft, the Texas Lone Stars have selected Lucas Berger Kane, a God Ford Bernese Mountain Dog from University of North Carolina. Congratulations to you, Lucas, on being the 6th pick of the 2017 FBA draft. And I'll return for the next pick when the Dakota Bikers, I believe.
Yes, that is correct.
Will have confirmed their selection. Thank you.
It's a good thing that we got that Bluetooth mic for the commissioner from him to us.
Yes, for now it's working, but hopefully he will not need to be corrected, and we'll let him.
Yes.
If anything, we should let him stumble. I think sound bites for later would be delicious. But
It would be, but we do want to keep it moving along without our listeners getting too confused.
But just to confirm, for all the listeners, in case you are confused, Lucas Berger Kane, the Burmese Mountain Dog, was selected 6th overall by the Texas Lone Stars from the University of North Carolina. A bit of a surprise considering he is a guard forward swing fur, not a point guard like you were saying.
And yeah, and they already have. I mean, if they're going to re-sign Martinu, they already have. And they're pursuing Aragon Fisher for point guard.
Yeah, it's a very big
and
surprise.
They have that Otter. I can't remember his name right now. But they have their Otter shooting guard, who is probably their best player. So are they picking for a reserve player?
That could be. Despite the fact that a lot of these, a lot of the draft is about getting an infusion of young new talent, some of these teams go for players that they feel they can groom into something that will go on to be a star player.
But Lucas Berger Kane, to me, just doesn't scream star. He screams dependable player, but not star.
And hey, that may be what they were seeing. That may be they may be seeing something else.
True. But also, just for our listeners, right now, the Dakota Bikers are on the clock. Just so that way they know.
Unless they trade. Keep an eye
Unless
out.
they trade, yeah.
Unless they trade.
I just think our commissioner forgot to announce that.
That'll be the tag. That'll be the tagline of every pick this evening is such and such is on the clock unless they trade.
Well, I'm looking to see if Dakota keeps trading down to see how many times they can have their name pop up in the first round.
The anecdote for this draft is unless they trade.
But let's assume they don't trade. Who do they end up picking?
Jalen Rose.
That is not a bad pick in my opinion. He slipped from second. He is 6'11". He could be a power forward.
Had a great showing. He can do just about everything.
Does it influence Dylan Redfield though?
I don't think so. Because honestly, from what we've seen, Dylan may not go back there.
Definitely possible, even though I think right now Dakota does have the highest per year offer on the table, with Williamsburg withdrawing their offer. But that is highly speculative, especially
Pittsburgh
since
is only $2 million less though.
True, definitely could hop over from the black and silver to the black and gold.
If he goes back though, they could potentially move what's his name, the Deer, to center. And then they could put Jalen Rose at power forward and have a really strong front court.
True. In fact, I think the commissioner's all ready to get on the stage. I think Dakota.
Oh wow!
Maybe it's a trade.
Today. He's on point, or yes, it could be a trade.
For the number 7 pick, truly this time, for the 2017 FBA draft, the Dakota Bikers have selected Jalen Rose, a small forward dragon from Lake Erie Anthro Institute. Congratulations to you, Jalen, on being the 7th pick of the 2017 FBA draft. A return shortly when the Hawaii Kunas have confirmed their selection.
And there we go. I have called it again.
That you did. So going back to you getting very upset at Dakota trading down.
I still am.
You're still upset, even if
I'm still
Jalen.
upset, but they did. I will say the cards this time did run in their favor, but it was a stupid decision to make.
Unless you really think, and we'll have to see if Derby earns his keep. I guess is the big thing. Can he?
If Derby does not, if he does not make himself worth that $14 million, this is a very bad trade in my opinion. No matter how good Jalen gets, because they are wasting a sixth of their cap space on a single player who they don't know anything about.
Well, moving on to Hawaii, a team that has been known not to draft actually over the years. They've had a couple years.
They've had an avoidance of drafting,
which has not been a detriment to them. They have done pretty well.
They've built very well within their own system.
Andy, any thoughts on the West Coast? You're the closest one to Hawaii of all of us.
Well, you guys brought up some very good points. The Hawaii Kahunas right now have a very three or four very large contracts in their starting row. So I don't think they're going to be going for someone who they're going to put right into their starting lineup. This is going to be someone that they will be able to, as I said before, groom, maybe put as a backup on the bench, possibly let someone to back up Teo. Right now, they've got Sophia Kikian filling that role, but who knows? They might decide to finally shake things up. Not saying that what they've been doing is a bad thing, but who knows?
Just to clarify, you didn't answer the question. You just danced around it. You didn't answer who do you think they're going to draft.
I don't believe I was asked that directly. I think I was asked, what do I think?
Okay,
And that-
who are they picking? The highest rated player on the board is Lucien Nagoy. Do you think they go with him, or do you think they go down stretch a little for like Ella Blessing at point guard?
Yeah. So Ella Blessing. Since I'm on the guard, as it were, like I said, they might go for a guard. Teo and Sophia are their two strong guards right now, and hey, your suggestion ain't a bad one. They also might go for another center or another forward. Right now, they've got Scooney and Zach, who can really just fill up that forward and center position. They've got Antonio Garza as well. So I don't think...
Isn't Antonio Garza out of a contract?
Well,
What's
he
that?
is out of the contract. But I'm just pointing out, Andy, I think you've listed every position.
Yeah.
You just
Again, you danced around the question.
Hey,
last chance. Pick a player. Who are they picking? Make a bet. Put it all on black.
I'm gonna go with not Blessing. We'll go with Vendella.
Okay.
I think just because, like you said, they need a backup point guard, and they need some forwards who are going to play not power forward, but they need a small forward really, because their small forward right now is average at best. He's a great center for the team, like a great person to propel the team, but he's not a great player.
Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about Doyle?
Why? Yeah. Or is it Doyle?
It is Doyle. Doyle is now their small forward.
Yeah,
I
right.
think
even though Doyle isn't great, he's good, but he's not great.
He's not being paid a lot either. He's 5-7 mil, so it's not like they're
So I think they
overpaying
could
him.
go after Lucien Nagoy, and because he could play their backup point guard easy, and then they'd have a really big lineup.
Yeah, I think though that we might see him reach a little bit with Garza potentially not coming back to the team. Looking down at the centers and forwards, I would say maybe going after Carlos Reyes, Josh Sievert,
Freddie
Varnege, any of those centers forwards could definitely be a target they go after. We might finally start to see the I like to call it the mid-round center rush of players being picked up.
Oh yes, when everyone goes after centers because they finally realize, oh shit, we need centers.
Well, that and
Right.
they see one team pick up one, and then suddenly they all want to pick one.
Right.
And then it's just like Christmas.
It's kind of like when you're in line at the popsicle stand and you see that everybody else is in the popsicle stand, and you're like, you know what? I want a popsicle. I better get in line before they're all gone.
And then by the time the 24th pick rolls around, we have no centers left in the draft.
Or popsicles.
Do you want to go get a popsicle on the boardwalk? You can step away.
Is that a euphemism? Is this a euphemism
No,
for something? I think
and
you're really after
we're
those
gonna cut you
popsicles.
off there because I believe I see this elephant heading on stage.
Here comes the elephant.
For the 8th pick of the 2017 FBA draft, the Hawaii Kahunas have selected Hokulani Kealoha, a big fur short fin mako shark from Haven University of Hawaii at Manoa. Congratulations to you, Hokulani, on being the number 8 pick of the 2017 FBA draft. And I will return for the next pick when Lorraine Firestorm have confirmed their selection. Queen's Pride is on deck. Thank you very much.
Well,
I should have seen that coming.
They go local. They tend to go local.
Do
They like to they go for guys that are going to stay around after their contract. Is it a good pick? We'll see.
I'm not sure.
I mean,
They picked the 23rd rated, or 23rd. He was listed 23rd. That's a bit of a reach, I'd say, especially for the number 8 pick. You could have traded down and probably got them.
well, possibly. Again, we don't know. This might be the start of that rush for all we know.
Maybe. Are we
be.
going to see all these poor forwards and guards left until the very end?
I would not be surprised if we see some small forwards slip out of this round, given how many we have.
I mean, we still have Nagoya and Firene, who are both.
Hang on.
pretty good small forwards.
I see the commissioner strutting on stage as fast as possible. Do they
Oh,
already have a
gosh.
pick in?
Oh, is it a pick? Let's see.
Sorry for the interruption. I did want to announce another trade that happened on the draft floor here between the Texas Lone Stars and the Edmonton Totems. The Totems are receiving Francois Martineau in a sign-and-trade deal for $8, $10, and $11 million in his contract per year. And going to Texas is Edmonton's 20th pick and Rolf Sweetser.
Interesting.
Thank you very much.
Okay then. You see, trades.
Big shock there. Francois Martineau getting a sign-and-trade deal. We talked about.
Big payday. No, that's a big payday.
It is a big payday, especially since I don't think he had a contract out yet. Like,
No, I think he had one offer out. I think there was one offer out on him.
but that, Lance getting his sign-and-trade deal. Now the second point guard. This is our second point guard getting a sign-and-trade
Shooting
deal
guard. I
tonight.
believe he's a shooting guard.
He played point guard for Texas, so I don't know if
I
that's his planned position.
I think his planned position is shooting guard if they go based off of what he came into the draft as.
Definitely possible. Andy, what are you thinking for Lorraine? They've been on the clock for a little while. I thought we might see a trade for them.
Right. I was just ready to hear Bangor again. That got me distracted.
We were all ready for that. I think we're all ready to hear Bangor anytime.
So Lorraine, I haven't looked at their roster. I'll have to pull them up here in a minute. I'm going to avoid the question and talk about.
Who are they drafting?
Okay, fine. Let's go with a forward, another forward. I mentioned early Tavares is one of the players that I'm looking forward to seeing who they go to.
Well, we will have to see because I think Commissioner didn't even make it off stage fully before he was handed the
they just threw the
envelope.
letter at him. They just chucked that at him. Oh my.
I guess there's no decorum in waiting. For the number 9 pick of the 2017 FBA draft, the Lorraine Firestorm have selected Araceli Sanchez, a center coyote from New Mexico Predatorial and Technical. Congratulations to you, Araceli, on being the number 9 pick of the 2017 FBA draft. I shall return shortly, perhaps not too shortly, when the Queen's Pride have confirmed their selection and San Jose Thrust is on deck. Thank you.
You seem to be very, very excited to put these names on the board. Are you getting them before the commissioner is?
No, I'm not. I don't have a camera installed in his glasses looking down at the picks. In Anyways, as announced, we have our first official reach outside the top 24 with Araceli Sanchez. An on the cusp center picked up by Lorraine.
I think you guessed correct. This might be the start of the center rush.
It does appear to be so.
Since we have two huge reaches in a row.
Not to be outdone, Lorraine reaches even deeper into the draft.
Next thing you know, we're going to see Chris Johnson being selected.
I mean, any non-top 24 center being drafted right now would be interesting. On the clock is.
I mean, Pierre Caro could be a potential one. I think he was close to being on the cusp.
Yes. Interesting pick from Lorraine. I can't argue about picking a center. I can argue that they skipped over Freddie is possibly concerning, but maybe they saw something with Freddie in their workouts that they didn't like, and they saw something in Sanchez they did. For the Queens. The Queens currently fighting for a couple positions. They need a shooting guard, they need a power forward, they need a center.
Right. Since Lorraine didn't go with my pick earlier, I'm gonna go again with Tavares.
Gonna keep pushing that envelope.
Gonna keep pushing that. Eventually, Tavares is gonna get picked up.
Do you get some ulterior motive for getting him picked up? Trying to push him on the team? Are you his agent?
Agent? Who, me? Well, that might be a future career for me. I don't know.
Hey,
I can see you booming on the sidelines, announcing your players to the world.
With the Queens, though, I say Nagoya finally goes off the board at number 10. Queens have offered Micah, they have offered Randy Mackenbach. It may not hurt to pick up a multi-utility small forward point guard mix.
He can rebound, he can pass, and he can score a little bit. Maybe he'll get better. He's pretty young, and he has professional experience.
True. And I was thinking, even if he's not a great scorer, he can play obviously off the bench and provide more of a role player position.
Can provide the much needed rebounding and passing for a team.
If they don't go with him, I think we see perhaps
maybe
Linus
Williams.
Well, I was gonna say no. I was gonna say the Linus Thompson coming off the board, who's ranked 13th, going at number 10 would make sense. She is a queen. She is a lion, so going to the Queens would not be a surprise.
Linus.
Yes.
Another in the running for you mentioned a swing for position. Franny Herod might go. The parrot from Melbourne.
Yes, she's a very good scorer inside. Can not really do much on defense. You know, as we saw, just kind of gave up on defense, but very good offensive player.
Hey, if Queen can strengthen their big fur section, I think.
I don't think Byron's much of a big fur though. I'd say.
Well, no. If they can build a good big fur section, Herod might not be a bad matchup. Just because you were mentioning, hey, she's not the best on defense. Maybe they can make that up with some other players.
Potentially, they could also, take out all the on-the-cusp centers and go after Margot Warrior or Gaj Williams, since apparently reaching for centers is the new fun thing to do for these GMs.
Well, I would not be shocked if we see another center go off the board, especially since they do need one to replace Kikovic, who is getting up there in age. So,
Kiki.
I could see also again going after a shooting guard here would make sense as well, just because Xavier Noon is not old or not getting any younger.
It's not old, but they're not getting any younger either.
Yeah, I'm looking in the envelope before the commissioner has a chance.
So you are looking in the envelope.
Shh, you didn't hear that.
I heard everything.
You hear what you want to hear.
snake here at all. Oh, but this so far, 9 picks in, and this is already, I'd say, very exciting and a very
Frustrating.
crazy draft.
Very frustrating.
We're gonna be,
Yeah, it's frustrating for us.
well,
Frustrating for probably some of the GMs as well, because they're losing out on the players they want to pick.
Well, definitely some of the. I mean, the top 6 did go off the board fairly early. It's not like 2 years ago where we saw Derek Kim slip from number 1 down to number 11. So at least in terms of that craziness, it's been okay.
That was unprecedented, definitely. But for the GMs here, if I were a GM, I would definitely have a shopping list and alternates. For goodness sake, going into this, because frankly, anyone who is down in the middle of the first round, like Pittsburgh, Seattle, Montana, they've got to have those players that not everyone else is going to think of immediately when they go up to pick.
It looks like I see the elephant coming on.
For the 10th pick of the 2017 FBA draft, the Queen's Pride have selected Blaine Thompson, a shooting guard lioness from Dallas State University. Congratulations to Blaine on being the number 10 pick of the 2017 FBA draft. I shall return shortly when the San Jose Thrust have confirmed their selection, and Las Vegas Wildcards are on deck. Thank you.
It looks like you were correct.
Yes, I get to drop the mic at the Queen's Pride. Pick a lion. Shocker, shocker.
Oh God, are they gonna be? They're gonna be getting close to the Oh gosh, soon we might see a whole starting lineup of lions. They will literally make it into a pride.
Well, as long they can do that as long as the rest of their roster doesn't have any felines on it.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they'll figure out some way to get something that looks like a feline.
Right.
They'll dress everyone else up as felines for when they play.
Now, of course, San Jose are as close to local team as you can get.
You
here
should
in
know who they're
Sacramento.
picking then.
I should.
You got the
but that
inside
doesn't
scoop?
necessarily mean they're going to pick who I would pick.
Or pick who
right.
we think they should pick.
Right. They still have a lot of players on contract with them. That doesn't rule out trades. Of course, free agency. They might go after some new players, some new faces. Right now, they've got some very seasoned players in their roster. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that they may look to trade out some of those seasoned veterans that may be falling off of their A game and go for someone. Let's see here. We've got. I'm just purely speculating, and this is nothing against these players. Alessandro Serra has been around for a while. They might go for a guard just to have something as a backup.
Or maybe if they re-sign their painted little
Meerkat.
Yes, their painted meerkat. Move him to shooting guard. They might go after a forward then to put next to him.
True.
That's also a possibility.
Looks like they actually already had the mind made up, and it looks like commissioner's already
Finally.
heading back up.
For the number 11 pick of the 2017 FBA draft, the San Jose Thrust have selected Darian Baptiste, a big for Tyra from Technology and Art University of Trinidad and Tobago. Congratulations to you, Darian, on being the 11th pick for the 2017 draft. I will return for the next pick when the Las Vegas Wildcards have confirmed their selection. The Winnipeg Voyagers are on deck. Thank you.
Well, okay.
Um,
I don't know what's going on anymore.
So definitely keeping in line with the Big Fur Rush theory.
definitely. They've outdone Lorraine's reach into the cusp and gone straight into the non-top 24. Very interesting. Again, a Big Fur, no surprise there. I guess backup for Jazz.
Maybe? I don't know what they're doing here. I honestly don't. As for someone who prides himself on being able to predict things, this whole thing has thrown me off.
So the 2014 draft is your kryptonite, it seems. 17 draft.
The
My
2000
God.
it's your kryptonite as well. You just can't say anything right today.
I'm having a stroke. Someone must have
Okay.
given me some horrible drugs in
Someone
this.
must have given you some of that Bangor water.
Yeah, too much of it at once.
Oh man. So that puts Las Vegas up to bat. If I am correct.
Well, they surely, with all the draftees here, I've had a chance to get extended talking time with them, considering that is where we are right now. Beautiful
Right.
Las Vegas, a chance to really woo some of their play. Not necessarily woo because they're picking them, but get a better
They have to
idea.
woo them anyways. They'll have to woo them anyways to get them to not have an Eric Toivonen situation.
Well, I mean, being picked at number 12, some players might strut acting like they're the top dog, but again, there have been 11 people picked before them tonight, so
I don't know. Maybe Irene. She seems to be pretty. Thinks she's top of the line and everything.
definitely let us
She
look,
would.
though.
I think she would fit with the team. They're a very flashy team. A very they're all about the Jazz part. Not the Shark.
Yeah.
We know that whole
Well, I mean, they
situation.
won the
But-
Shark.
Yes,
Um,
but they're all about that. The flash and being a very flashy team. So shooting Irene, who is known for her flashy dunks and her and her crazy athletics, may get picked.
Maybe. I'm going to go with a point guard, considering Leho Folk's retirement. I would expect them to pick a point guard here. Maybe Ella Blessing.
maybe if they maybe they're betting on getting a point guard in the free agency, and maybe get Irene, pair her up with Misha if Misha comes back.
Definitely a possibility. I mean, they've put a very large offer out for Misha.
It's
So
very
they-
obvious they believe in her quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it eats up a bit of the contract, and I think, again, Commissioner's ready to go. They are running him across the court today.
They're just running him ragged.
All right, for the 12th pick of the 2017 FBA draft, the Las Vegas Wildcards have selected Lucien Nagoy. This is very hastily written. I apologize. A small forward Fossa from BFPBL Kinshasa. Congratulations to Lucien Nagoy on being the number 12 pick of the 2017 FBA draft. I'll return for the next pick when the Winnipeg Voyagers have confirmed their selection. Thank you.
Hopefully,
Bark.
I think we're going to be getting back Witherspoon. Andy, thank you for tuning in, joining us. Hopefully, we'll get you back on tomorrow for the second round for a little bit.
Absolutely, I will be glad to join you guys. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for joining us. So, Witherspoon, we'll get your thoughts in a minute about all the craziness that's been happening while you were dealing with your business.
And there's something in that water, I swear. What's going on?
So let's look at this. I'm a little confused with the Vegas's choice. Yes, Lucien had slipped from 7 to 12, but they have Wayne Kirkpatrick as their small forward. I guess they could try and play him as a point guard, but I don't know if he'll do the best as a full-time point guard.
Maybe he needs to
Doesn't
get some more
sound too
use.
much like it.
I mean, he in the draft combine he did well, doing the ball, holding the ball, and running the offense. And with
Not gonna lie, there. I will say, combine and FBA game are two completely different beasts. So
true,
we'll have to see
but
how he
I think
holds up.
passing skills are one of the few things that translate.
To an extent, I would say speed of the game is different, and the speed of the
True.
players, because your passing windows are much smaller.
True enough.
But let's move on to Winnipeg. Winnipeg is an interesting team. They've definitely got some stars on there. I'd say Kelvin Melka might be the best defensive player, underrated defensive player, at least in the league. They
Sounds.
Well, I was going to say, on top of that, they did have Derek Kim, the surprise of 2015, who had slipped, but came back to win Rookie of the Year with his outstanding performance. If they can re-sign him, I think they're set. Who do they go to complement those two, though? Assuming they re-sign Kim.
That is a very good question, and I have no idea what's been going on these past few rounds, or these past few picks. But my God, what is going on here? I've covered a lot of things. I even covered the UFFL draft, and they drafted a kicker in the first round. A kicker.
Hey,
It seems that this year.
he
It
has a
seems
cannon
that this
for a leg.
year. It seems that this year, well, drafts in all sports leagues are just kind of between yikes and what is going on. We don't even know.
Chavez, what do you think?
Just bark, bark, bark.
Actually, it doesn't look like you'll have a chance. Not even a minute of rest for the commissioner tonight.
Goodness, I'm getting my steps in today. For the number 13 pick of the 2017 FBA draft, the Winnipeg Voyagers have selected Mary Catherine O'Hara, a guard Siamese cat from Fern University of Southern California. Congratulations to you, Mary Catherine, on being the number 13 pick of the 2017 FBA draft. I will return shortly after the Tallahassee Typhoons have confirmed their selection. After that will be the Pittsburgh Keystones. Thank you.
Big
That
shocker
poor
there.
commissioner.
Yeah, the poor commissioner to start with. What do you think about that, Chavez? Picking a point guard here.
Chavez?
Sorry.
Wait, Chavez.
Sorry.
I mean, have you been blown away?
Kind of. I don't know what's happening. I don't.
I mean, are they just taking the safe bet, assuming that they could lose Derek Kim and just
Maybe.
go
But-
for the safety?
But if they're doing that, that's also an insult to Kim, telling them we don't trust you to come back. We don't trust your judgment necessarily.
Well, I'm looking at their roster right now. Other reason they may have picked here is because Timmons, their backup point guard, is also in free agency right now. They more than likely could be losing one of the two of them, so this may be a safety pick in the sense of, well, worst case scenario, we pick us a backup. Actually, worst case, she's a starter. Normal case scenario, she's a backup. And best case scenario, they get both of their point guards back, and she ends up kind of deep in the roster / traded away.
That's what I'm thinking too. I'm looking at this roster, and they
need guards. I mean, that's not a lie.
They need guards, definitely.
They have
They got these swings, but that's about it.
They have Santner, I can't speak. Theodore is the prairie dog guard. Yves is their swing fur who's been playing small forward. And outside of that, their only other guard on the team is Silverman under contract. So picking a guard's not a shock here. Just a point guard might be sending the wrong message. Now,
I think we covered Winnipeg.
I know. I don't know. They need a point guard though.
They do.
I don't really care if it sends a wrong message because they just lost probably a top 5 point guard in the league. Yes, you won a championship, but you destroyed him. You destroyed his body.
Oh, well, I was talking about Winnipeg. Now we're moving on to
Winnipeg.
Tallahassee.
Yeah. I'm talking about Tallahassee.
Yeah, Tallahassee did a big. They won a championship, but in doing so, they kind of sacrificed one very talented, player.
And honestly,
so.
maybe one of two players on their roster who could really be considered a star. With Narcissa being an up and coming star.
Yeah, I mean, I will say the free agent market this year, even with Lance Wildfire being taken, there are still a lot of good point guards out there.
There are.
Derek Kim.
But who's going to go there knowing that they could potentially lose their career because one coach is crazy to want to win?
I mean, I think everyone wants to win.
Yes, but does everyone want to win and lose their career by doing so?
Well, you can definitely look at it that way. I see, unfortunately, career-ending injuries are a thing in the league. Every player has a chance of losing their career. Can't put all the blame on the coach. Some bad luck plays a role. And I think we will hear what Tallahassee is going with now.
Oh.
For the number 14 pick of the 2017 FBA draft, the Tallahassee Typhoons have selected Fred Herod, a small forward, Eclectus Parrott from Melbourne Trinity University. Congratulations to you, Fred, on being the number 14 pick of the 2017 FBA draft. Pittsburgh Keystones are up next, followed by the Seattle Summit. Thank you.
So it does look like they may be going free agent route for point guard.
I think that's a good pick. I think Farine's a really good pick because Rosalie Smoot just she holds her own kind of, but I really think that Firene is going to take over the starting position from her.
After a year or before the year's even up?
I think before the year is even up.
Oh,
Firene's
wow.
Firene's a great scorer, and Rosalie doesn't stand out.
Do you think it's just because Rosalie tends to be more of a defensive rebounder, or?
I don't even think defensive rebounding is much of it. I just think that Firene is a better player and is going to become a better player.
Bold prediction of the 2017 FBA draft here. All the craziness that happened before this has been pushed aside for Chavez claiming that a rookie is going to dethrone a starter before the end of the year. I will put money on that.
There are definitely going to be some rookies who are going to dethrone some starters this year.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I'd say 3 or 4 of the top 7 picks are going to be starting right away.
I think Firene just has the offensive firepower. Her defense definitely needs work. There's nothing that you can say to say that. Her defense needs some work.
Yeah.
But her offense is pretty good, and it's something that will translate into the league, I believe.
So just merge Smoot and her together, and you get a star player.
And then you get some terrible amalgamation that you don't ever
a
want.
bison peacock or bison parrot.
God. Oh God! And one of them has children already.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, don't forget, Rosalie, just had some children. So she still has to recover from that.
That really shouldn't have much bearing on it, though. I mean, she's still able to play.
Well, and
Yeah.
you say that, but really, Farron tends to do better. She played, I think, power forward in the combine games just because of the lack of power forwards. But
Well, yeah, but she's strong enough. I think
she
could.
could, but I think she's
definitely
gonna.
play power
I think she will start, but I think she'll start small forward, dethroning Tahiri, Andrea Matsinoro. I will keep saying that.
forward. Yes, I believe that she's going to dethrone one of those two. There's definitely
Michael.
Because
space
she
for her on
doesn't
that
have the
roster to
size.
start.
She's only 6'5".
No, if she's strong enough.
I mean, she's 180 pounds. I think you're overestimating her strength and maybe confusing her with someone else. But
She could still grow. I don't think. How old is she?
she is, I think, completed schools. She's not Jake Turner. She will not grow another 8 inches.
She'll grow a foot. She'll grow a foot before year's end. She'll become 7'5".
But moving on to the 15th pick with the Pittsburgh Keystones. Power forward center. Lance Freewell. Not gonna be coming back.
Yeah.
This is, I think, is where we see the center rush continue that has been put on hold.
For a bit of forward rush.
I think we will see Freddie finally pop off the board. The 19th ranked player in the FBA draft. Top
If not Freddie, then maybe Gage or
Gage or Margot.
Yep.
Or if we skipped over Thorne Tanner, the zebra, also an on the cusp player.
True.
But only 9 picks remaining in the FBA draft after this one for the first
In
round.
the first round.
Well, I mean, surprise everyone! Only 24 picks this year. Go home. That would be.
Second round picks don't happen. Those things were all fakes.
I mean, even though a lot of teams want second round picks, they fill out the roster very well at $1.5 million.
For a cheap price, yeah.
There's something in the water here that's making all the GMs want to go home, like draft over the first round. So
Again, Bangor, blame them.
Bangor stole some of the voodoo magic, and
Who got the voodoo?
yeah, they out voodooed the voodoo.
Yep.
Say that 5 times real fast.
that's
If you can,
they
maybe
outvoted the voodoo.
You can't even say it once.
I can't even.
Wrap your head
Down
around
voodoo
it.
the voodoo, down voodoo the voodoo, down voodoo the voodoo, and down voodoo the doo-doo.
Okay, you're saying voodoo now.
Yes. You got doo-doo the doo-doo indeed.
Well, let's talk about, I guess, about Pittsburgh a little bit more while they're continuing to get their pick in.
It's not too much to say, really.
Well, no, I mean, I think center forward's the biggest thing, but they did recently trade for Elisa Lawless at guard. Brought in some attitude. Stop. Arm.
They can really do a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously have a lot of free agency. They don't have a ton of money to play around with per se, with Shirley Takamoto and Terrence Tolliver eating up their cap.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily
they'll try and
a
get-
thing.
Yeah. I mean, if it's those two players, I wouldn't, be so against them eating up my cap either if I had a team.
I wouldn't be against it either because Terrence Tolliver has actually been a really good player,
Indeed.
and so is Shirley Takamoto. So
When she isn't,
yeah, I
when
would
she
say
isn't
they would have
broken.
to try to. Yep, they would have to. I guess they either go for power forward or center, or they go for bench depth. Either way,
Well, I think the commissioner's ready. The clock has just run out.
For the number 15 pick of the 2017 FBA draft, the Pittsburgh Keystones have selected a center white-tailed jackrabbit from Howard University of Oklahoma. Congratulations to you, Margot, on being the number 15 pick of the 2017 FBA draft. I shall return shortly when the Seattle Summit have confirmed their selection. After them is the Huntsville Mayors. Thank you.
Well, we missed the first time he said the name, but looks like it was Margot Warrior.
That is correct. One of the players we did list as a possible. No shock there. Center coming off the board.
To be expected.
I will say
really
this.
good pick.
Well, look at this. That is 2 cusp players gone and 2 non-top 24 gone. So that means 3 top 24 players will be slipping to at least the second round. I think we're going to see a couple more slip.
And we
as
still
well.
have the number 10, 11, and 12 ranked players still on the board.
Yeah, I mean, we're at the 16th pick now. We're not terribly off from a slide. I mean, again, I'm going to keep pointing back. 2 years ago, we had the number 1 pick slide 10 spots. So, yes, 10, 11, 12 are probably sweating a little bit, but once it gets to the 20th pick.
They won't go undrafted. They won't go undrafted.
Yeah, well, I mean, you say that, knock on wood.
Well, yes, this is going to happen now. They're all going to go undrafted. From now on, no top 24 players will be picked, and they'll all go undrafted.
So Seattle.
Wishful thinking.
Seattle
Seattle-
shooting guard.
Hands down.
They need a shooting guard.
Oh, I was gonna say if they draft another center, just the Margot was 7'6", so they could have picked her and had
Maybe
three
you could go
players
for
over
the
7'6".
giant towers. Trying to create the towers, move, Jake to small forward, move DQ to power forward, put her at center. and
No,
you got
it'd be
towers.
more. It'd be who has the tallest 7-footer they can find at small forward.
Yes, put the tallest player they can get at small forward.
And then they can also draft another player at 7 foot for shooting guard.
Yep, and then they just need one more for point guard, and they can just have a giant team.
They trade for Leon. He's 6'9". They could. He's not
no,
7 foot.
Just get a point. Just get the best playmaking center.
Okay, I think that would be a team of turnovers right there.
No, because they could just pass over everyone.
But with their accuracy, they'd probably pass it into the.
That's why you have a playmaking one.
Okay. But seriously, you said shooting guard. I agree. They might go after. They might re-sign.
Maybe Frank Wang.
Frank
They might go
Wang.
after Frank-
I could go for Ella Blessing or Vendella. I mean, there's a lot of guards left in the top 24.
Not
Excuse
surprising.
me, I brought your coffee. Hello everyone.
When did you order a coffee?
Demi,
Oh, it's the 2/3 break. Eat the coffee.
Well, thank you, I guess.
This is for you, and this is for you. This is for you. This is for you. Wait,
There's only
too
three people
too many
here.
coffees here.
There's only three people here.
I've got 4 coffees. I know
you
what it
take it. It's okay.
Yeah, you
No,
can
no,
have it.
I'm
Take
not
it.
allowed to take it. I'm an intern. I'm not allowed to take coffee.
You can take it.
It's in my contract.
How
This
about
is
you
your
go give it
contract.
to? You know what? I think the
Give it
commissioner
to the
could use it.
commissioner. Yes,
Yeah,
he probably
I think
needs
he
it.
needs it. Why
Yeah,
don't you
here
go
comes
run
the
down there?
commissioner.
No,
No,
he's got knife. He's got his special coffee.
Well, go make him some more.
You know what? Maybe the deputy commissioner would like it. I'm sure Raymond Seaver would like some coffee. Why
Go
don't
offer it to a player.
you go find someone?
All right, all right. Are
Nope.
you sure? Because this is the
Yes,
coffee
we're
for
sure.
the
We're
this is the
sure.
coffee for the upboard, and the assistant commissioner has his own coffee.
We're sure.
Yeah, I'm. Go on.
All right,
You can
all right.
you can head on now.
Timmy out. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Demi.
That's what they
Bye.
call the
Bye,
quick.
bye,
Bye, Timmy.
Timmy.
They're saying their name and then.
Bye,
then
bye,
they-
Timmy.
Oh, goodbye.
Don't drink whatever he brought. I don't think it's coffee.
I poured it away already.
I think
I
he's
dumped it
sick.
in the flower plant.
Why is it dead?
Okay, going back to the
Seattle.
discussion after that happened.
After a
Timmy,
random intern
Jimmy.
interrupted.
At least he didn't break anything on his way out. And
I think he might have tripped and broken his leg.
No, I see him running
wrong.
at the commissioner, and I see the commissioner running on stage to avoid him. So
Oh gosh.
No.
Avalanche!
No. Oh, that's scary. For the number 16th pick of the 2017 FBA draft, the Seattle Summit have selected Javi Triano, a guard coyote from the Universidad Nacional Internacional de Mexico. Congratulations to you, Javi, on being the number 16 pick of the 2017 FBA draft. I shall return shortly when the Huntsville Mayors have confirmed their pick, and after that will be the Santa Ana Spectrums. Thank you.
I think the commissioner got a little tongue-tied there when pronouncing that.
a little bit. I'm
Timmy's
currently
probably
watching
got
him have a stare down with the intern. I think he's.
Neither of them are moving. This is actually quite interesting. Maybe we should commentate over this instead of the draft.
No, the draft is much more interesting, but we'll just keep an eye out on if he leaves the stage or not. He might just stand there for the rest of the day.
Who knows? I think the commissioner just fell asleep.
As long as he doesn't get more coffee, he's fine.
Yeah.
So
As long as
not
I'm
a
getting Timmy's coffee.
not a surprise. Seattle picking
Just
a
like we
guard.
predicted. Yep.
Maybe not
To
the
be
guard we were thinking. I was thinking maybe Vendella or Ella.
I was thinking Wang.
Ella,
What?
Anyways, 17th.
What?
Okay.
I just broke out into song randomly.
You
Huntsville.
did lapse into a memory or some sort.
Yeah. Huntsville. Wendy Brown is in free agency. I would be utterly shocked if they picked a point guard. Except for the fact that John Stout is also in free agency, so maybe they do go for a point guard.
I mean, this is about the time when you start picking backups and such.
Harrison York also going into free agency. If I remember correctly, they picked him around this point 2 years ago.
believe so.
So
I think so.
he was a cusp player, I believe, picked late in the first round. I can double check real fast. But this might be a point where they decide to reach a little bit for a power forward, maybe, or maybe even just a center. Period. Gage Williams obviously still on the board. Thorne Tanner. In fact, he was actually picked 23rd in 2015. So,
Oh wow.
Be pretty close.
it is a good time for them. They were successful picking him. They did a good job scouting. Maybe Vic Andrews, the Big Fur, could be picked up here. Charles Dofree, Heinrich Fischer, all the Big Furs still on the board.
A lot of big furs on the board still.
Well, you say that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I count less than 10 centers left.
And there's more than 10 teams that need to pick.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll see at least another 5 centers go off the board between
Come and get
today
them while they're hot, gentlemen
basically.
and ladies.
We make the joke, but centers are always in fashion. Oh God, I'm having a stroke again. Fashion.
You're having you're having an aneurysm, it seems.
I'm having something.
I think it was the coffee. Did you actually drink some of it?
He may have been looking at me until I took a sip. But, anyways, the Huntsville Mayors, I guess another option could be forward with Jim McCormick getting older. It would not be a complete shock if he went ahead and had a backup in place.
I don't think that would hurt.
I was going to say, forwards left, you still have Rashid Kabor, or maybe even Carlos Reyes, Josh Sievert, Jacobus van Oorschot. All of them could be good backups to learn under him for the next couple years.
I could agree with that. Do I hear the thundering sounds of a commissioner coming?
I don't think he ever left the stage.
I think he woke up, and they just kind of slipped the letter in his jacket.
For the number 17 pick of the 2017 FBA draft, the Huntsville Mayors have selected Rashid Kabore, a small forward mountain zebra from Mombasa, Kenya. Congratulations to Rashid on being the number 17 pick of the 2017 FBA draft. Next up will be Santa Ana Spectrums, and after that will be the Alaska Arctics. Thank you.
So we were almost right.
Yeah, my last second thought did steer towards that possibility. I mean, I think any player they could have picked wouldn't have been wrong, except if they picked a pure center. I mean, they need kind of every position besides a pure center.
So this pick wasn't bad.
It wasn't too bad. I mean, 6'6", he could definitely play power forward and definitely be a good impact for the team.
Power forward, no, more like forward. I mean, you want to at least be 6'8" for power forward. And that's even pushing it. Usually, I mean, we saw Jake Turner is 7'11". Do you really want to put anyone who's under 6'9" against that?
No, I wouldn't want to do that, but
yeah. I think he'll be a great small forward to learn under. He could, in a pinch, play power forward, but he'd be an athletic one at best, not a physical. Santa Ana on the board now, a team that has consistently been at the bottom of the draft due to their consistently good record.
I mean, it's not always a bad thing.
No, it's not. And they've made a interesting trade. They got rid of Scott Parsons, cleared some cap space for them. And they had a big contract. Speaking of Vegas's big contract out on Misha Maxwell. Santa Ana has a big contract out on Misha Maxwell. So who do they end up drafting here?
I mean, I don't think they go guard. Just it's a chance they might scare off Misha.
Oh, well, is she gonna be scared off by the a pick this late though?
Well, I mean, with that potentially.
She potentially could still be though, because you also got Santa also like picked up another character, I believe, or another player, Hector Hart, I believe, from Bangor, and we saw him in the FBA rookie combine, and he did pretty good next to Eric Toivonen, who also got traded away from his team for reasons. So
Yeah, we didn't actually cover that Bangor had made another. Speaking of trade, Bangor made a trade for Namkeki. So, but like you said, Hector Hart brought over could be a shooting guard that they want to go for. So maybe perhaps a center or a power forward here.
I even reach and try a small forward, even someone who can play backup for depth.
Very true there. They could play backup to Lee Jin-sung.
Yeah, Lee Jong-sung's a good player, but you need someone in that backup role just to maybe like learn under or be ready in case like something happens, like an injury. Because injuries do happen in the FBA, just like any other sport you get into. So it's always good to have a little bit of depth in the bench area.
I don't
They
think
can play in a pinch.
golf has many injuries. Ice curling. Ice curling is injury free. If you want.
No, it's not. You slip and fall, hit your face, break your nose.
Plastic surgery exists for a reason.
Well, I do have an artificial hip. I mean,
Well,
bark.
I mean, that you're just showing your age there.
I'm not that old. I'm only like 40 something or another.
And already replaced tipped. And I think Commissioner heading back on the court or floor.
For the number 18 pick of the 2017 FBA draft, the Santa Ana Spectrums have selected Vendela Malmquist, a guard rabbit from H.C. Andersen University of Denmark. Congratulations to you, Vendela, on being the number 18 pick of the 2017 FBA draft. I will return momentarily when the Alaska Arctics have confirmed their selection. After that is the Texas Lone Stars. Thank you.
Ooh, going for, I mean, we talked about depth. I mean, you said not picking a guard, even though this is more of a point guard pick, 5'11", 143. More of a backup to Audi, it seems. I mean, not a terrible shock. I mean, at this point, outside of a team drafting a non-top 24, we're not thrown away. I will say we're getting to that point.
Outside of someone trading one of these picks for, a star.
Yeah. I'm going to say, though, I mentioned earlier, 10 and 11th picks getting worried. It's starting to get that time now where at the 19th pick, and if Ella Blessing doesn't get off the board soon, she might not until later in the second round.
Or might not at all.
She'll be the one suing you because you jinxed her.
She can sue me all she wants. She has no platform to stand on. Besides, what money will she have to sue me with if she doesn't get picked?
I'm sure she could find someone out there.
She's a college student.
But speaking of Alaska, they had a retirement of Ambrose Slade. No shock there, given his age. They are actually one of the better teams set in terms of guards. They sat there and had Devin Kellendine playing a bench role. So, in terms of positions, the only player I see is maybe a small forward in case Najak ends up leaving next year, or going for center with Ogona Kayu in free agency. Outside of that, it's just depth. So any position really could work here. this might be the time actually to pick Ella Blessing just for depth purposes. I mean, you can get a top 10 player at the 19th pick. That's not a bad spot to be in. If you were Alaska, who would you pick, Chavez?
If I was Alaska, I'd probably pick a forward or a center. And for that, I'd probably go with Thorne Tanner.
Skipping over Freddie again. Freddie, unpopular.
I think they just really need a pure center at this point. I don't really know if they need a forward center.
A big for a center forward.
Yeah.
Because Freddie does prefer the center position.
Well, then maybe Freddie, but Freddie or Thorne probably, because they don't really need a guard. They have a good guard set up already. And they lost Baylor this year, right? He retired.
Baylor was last
year
because he played for the Seattle Summit this past season. They lost him last free agency.
Okay, yeah. Still, they still were feeling the effects from that.
No doubt. I mean, Fuafua and Ogunakayu definitely had a strong post presence. They did lack that depth. Mason Yonder's not a bad center, but he's not someone you want to go to in case of an injury, really.
I think they need to look for someone here who has potential. Maybe isn't going to be getting any minutes right now, but can in the future. Because they still have the MVP on their team.
They do. Cliff Matthews, definitely someone you want to build around.
Use him while he's hot. Then drop him when he's rocked.
I think Commissioner might be ready to go again.
For the number 19 pick of the 2017 FBA draft, the Alaska Arctics have selected Josh Sievert, a small forward athletic tampon. Who wrote this? Is it that intern? Goodness. An Atlantic tarpon from Florida Everglades University. Congratulations to you, Josh, on being the number 19 pick of the 2017 FBA draft. I'll return shortly when the Texas Lone Stars have confirmed their next selection. Thank you.
Not a terrible shock. I did mention possibly going for depth with the small forward position. What now has me wondering is, do they expect Najak not to return?
Maybe.
Which I guess brings in now the next question of Texas, the team that traded back into the top 24 on top of their earlier pick. They had one at 6. Who do they pick now at 20th? Do they go after that point guard now?
Well, they picked Lucas Berger-Kane with their 6th pick. So maybe to pick someone with him. Maybe Ella Blessing will finally get picked.
Maybe all the way down at 20th. Not a terrible idea, especially since we just found out about their sign and trade deal with Francois Martineau. Either that or they have plans to go into the free agent market now that they know for a fact that they don't have to worry about bringing back Martineau. In fact, the last 5 picks of this FBA draft, majority of them are traded picks. Texas at 20 was from Edmonton. Santa Ana owns Tennessee's pick at 21. Baltimore owns the Queen's pick at 22. Montana is the only pick that is not a traded pick. In fact, that's their original pick still.
It's insane.
Well, I mean, we see the last couple picks of the round. Sometimes you see traded around, being a commodity, especially for some of these picks where I think were done before the season even really started. So they may have expected teams to play worse than they did, and they ended up not being that lucky. I know. I think Tennessee was one of them. SAS did before the season started.
forgive me, I have my own personal snacks. I brought in some personal stuff for this draft because I didn't trust the water and I didn't trust some of the food.
Well,
I smelled trouble.
Just watch out for other people stealing your food. Speaking of which, I see the commissioner heading back on stage. I think he's finally found his stride.
For the number 20 pick of the 2017 FBA draft, the Texas Lone Stars have selected Hudson Dialback, a point guard, American Red Squirrel from Billings Technical Community College. Congratulations to you, Hudson, on being the 20th pick of the 2017 FBA draft. I'll return for the next pick after the Santa Ana Spectrums have confirmed with me their selection. After that will be the Baltimore Spirits. Thank you.
Well, that's reaching deeper than the cusp.
Definitely. I mean, now Blessing, we thought her number was finally going to be up.
But nope.
No, left sitting on the board still, and they end up going with a tiny, tiny point guard at 5'7", matching Lance in size.
But not in skill, sadly. That would have been a really nice pickup for them at, pick number 20 if they could get a Lance caliber player.
Surprise! It was Lance all along, dressed in a squirrel outfit.
Lance,
How did he lose all that weight?
No, you see, it went all up into his cheeks, so he could play the part of the squirrel.
He just pushed it all to his tail, clearly.
Yep. He put it on the tail to become poofy. That's why his tail weighs so much.
But anyways, Hudson picked up 5'7" guard. Again, we were expecting a shooting guard or point guard of some kind to go here just because they needed a point guard, possibly. And they have a chance now to move on in free agency with the knowledge that, they have a point guard just in case they end up failing. SAS back on the board so quickly after their pick. Again,
That was quick.
I mean,
I don't know who they really would choose now.
Blessing, maybe 21.
Maybe we should stop saying her name. Maybe she will actually end
Well,
up
it's not much of a blessing, is it?
more of a curse, indeed.
Is she a blessing or is she a curse? We'll find out.
Or maybe not.
Well, I feel bad. 4 picks left, and we still have 2, 4, 6, 8 top 24 players on the board. At least half of these guys will slip into the next round.
Yeah, the next one after.
Well, I think players number 21 through 24 were expected to be potential fallers because they were closest to being on the cusp.
Definitely true. I mean, the Crown Lemur at 24, he had some variety since he is a swing fur, but because Sonoma Blevins is still on the board, I don't think he's going to be picked off before she is, even though we just did see a point guard picked up over Blessing, so...
I think that Freddie Varnege will probably end up getting picked by the end of this round.
I would agree. The center rush has stopped, but I'm sure one team will still decide with their last pick him up. If not that, a very high pick in the second round.
I don't think Baltimore is going to choose him because they already got a lot of bigs. Montana might. Lorraine definitely could.
Well, we're again at that point of, get depth. Depth always works.
Then again, Lorraine did pass over Varnege for Sanchez for their pick.
True, very true. Freddie might be steaming in the booth right now.
He might be a bit upset.
I can hear him weeping from here.
Weeping, more like yelling.
Going, why? And maybe growling a little bit too.
I mean, you're the one who
I do have good hearing.
wolves.
Yeah.
I think Commissioner's ready to announce Santa Ana's second
That
pick.
commissioner has been getting back and forth pretty well now.
For the number 21 pick of the 2017 FBA draft, the Santa Ana Spectrums have selected Killian Belmont Aquino, a guard, Morlet's alligator lizard from Emerald Gilead University. Congratulations to you, Killian, on being the 21st pick of the 2017 FBA draft. I'll return for the next pick when the Baltimore Spirits have confirmed their selection. After that is the Montana Howlers. Thank you.
Well then.
Well, I did say they needed a guard possibly, but again, blessing.
Maybe we should stop saying her name.
Maybe I could keep saying it to see how long it lasts.
You know, she'll be kind of angry at you then for that.
My name
And she
is
might sue
Chavez. I've been Chavez tonight. Thank you, boys. You can send all your lawsuits to Chavez.
Well, excuse me.
Seriously though.
This is anti-Naga right here.
Sure. Let's hop over to Baltimore. They traded
Hell,
down.
I can barely sit in this seat that they gave us.
What is it that one moth player? What's his name?
We don't mention his
Adam
name.
Holly something or another says.
That thing that begins with an A that we never ever say.
The only winged animal we're able to talk about in here is the butterfly from Williamsburg.
You cut out.
Oh, sorry. I was saying the only winged animal we're allowed to talk about is the butterfly from Williamsburg.
Marcella.
Marcella. Yes.
Marcella?
Marcella is the only winged creature we can talk about that is a bug. The
Are
other
there no
one-
dragons with wings?
She's sweet.
a winged bug.
Hey, dragons could be bugs.
Okay.
I don't know what
Anyways,
species they really are.
Baltimore. We're gonna re-divert this back on track.
Time to
What
get
does
back on
Baltimore
tangent.
need?
Well, that's a good question because they have Victor Vols, Sarah Michelle
And they
Dunbar.
just got Eric.
They just got Eric at power forward, so really they just need a small forward.
Yeah, and they don't need a center because they have their picks from last year.
And guess who is on the board still at forward? Tavares.
Tavares. I think it might be his time.
I mean, he's sitting at 11. He has slipped this far, or they could go for a swing if they really wanted to.
They could also reach all the way down. You know, go after someone like Gloria McFang for who knows what reason.
I mean,
They could also go for Carlos Reyes.
yeah,
maybe
I was like
Thor.
Carlos Reyes. Definitely, they could go for Gary Elsinore. Maybe go for a cuss player. They're actually
Maybe
they're-
Todd Stewart.
I mean,
Todd
they,
Stewart could,
I was gonna say they could be impressed by Natasha.
they could.
We mentioned the uncussed players. They are players that basically just slipped outside of the top 24, who may be a hair's breadth away from being considered top 24. So having a cuss player picked is never a bad thing, unless you're a
Wait.
number one pick.
Or number if you're number 9 and you decide to take it on the cuss player for some reason.
Well, either that or you better know something about them.
Yeah, you better know something that none of us ever knew.
Well, I mean, so we talk about the draft. You know where you've been picked. We can't forget that there are players who went undrafted that actually became very successful in this league.
True.
Marcus Knight, for example. Very good
Success in Texas.
Yeah, very good success in Texas.
Success.
Also, Theodore Rockwell.
True.
I mean, you're saying he's overpaid or he's expensive contract, but he definitely had a really strong second and third year, really.
I'm not saying that I'm saying that he produces about the same as Eric, but he's paid way more than Eric is.
Well, Eric might deserve more than he's paid too, but
Yeah, Eric deserves more than he's paid.
but he's a rookie, so you can't get around that. I think I see the commissioner heading back up on stage.
For the number 22 pick of the 2017 FBA draft, the Baltimore Spirits have selected Joel Miguel Tavares, a small forward marque from Miami State. Congratulations to you, Joel Miguel, on being the number 22 pick of the 2017 FBA draft. Up next is the Montana Howlers, and after them is the Lorraine Firestorm. Thank you very much.
Well, you called it.
I mean, again, sitting at number 11, yet
Yep.
to be picked.
Yeah, it was
going to happen at this point.
Well, that could have gone to the next round.
I don't think it would have.
Not a terrible shock to me to see him go. He definitely deserved.
It's not even a shock. It was expected at this point. But now on to Montana, who really, again, what do they need?
Well, you could argue a power forward because they have Sterling going into free agency, but a center would also work really well, so I think they need to go with a big fur.
And maybe Freddie Varney, since he could play both positions.
Well, now you've cursed
There
him.
you
He's
go.
not going to be picked. It's only when I
All
say
right.
it.
All right, so maybe when Ella Blessing.
He gets picked. Yeah, they're going to pick Ella Blessing to play behind Anue.
Ella Blessing is going to play behind Sterling now.
Yeah. I mean, they have Brax Trenner at power forward. Not a horrible player to play at that position, but he is, I would say, not as good as Sterling.
Definitely.
Definitely. He's definitely paid more than Sterling at $12 million.
I mean, he may have a better attitude than Sterling.
The league sometimes lets attitude supersede punishment when you are skilled. The team's more willing to let you
Slide if you can play ball.
be vocal on Twitter and things like that.
Be vocal in general.
But yeah, I could see, because Westcott Yaboya is also a free agent, they might pick up a center just for depth's sake. Again, I don't think Sterling needs to worry if there's a center picked at 23rd in the FBA draft that he's being replaced or something.
No, that kid doesn't have to worry.
Unless he's that insecure about it, which I doubt he is, with how vocal.
I've seen the kid's Twitter posts, and he's very, secure in his first, so I don't think he has anything to worry about being replaced anytime soon. And
Yeah,
if he's worried, he can always take his talents elsewhere to a team that will respect his talents, so you never know.
and drop lots of money on him.
Exactly.
I mean, he's definitely been a hot free agent so far. Multiple teams offering.
He's just sent back saying, bring it all in, bring it all in. Oh, you want to make an offer for me? All right, I'll consider it. Oh, you're going to make an offer too? All right, let's see how much you have to offer. All right. Just raking it in.
Well,
Has the commissioner up yet? Because I'm hearing footsteps in the background.
yeah, I think you're right, heading up on stage.
For the number 23 pick of the 2017 draft, the Montana Howlers have selected Freddie Varnaghi, the big fur coati from University of Southern California. Congratulations to you, Freddie, on being the number 23 pick of the 2017 FBA draft. I'll return for the next pick and the last pick for when the Lorraine Firestorm have confirmed their selection. Thank you.
Well, there you have it.
Finally off the board. Another top 24 bites the dust in terms of being picked now. Freddie Varnaghi. No surprise again, we did project a power forward center possibly going. At the very least to replace Yabuya. The recent father, Varnaghi, coming into the league, will definitely be able to earn a living, hopefully to support his child.
Congrats to him.
From the University of South Carolina, quite a few players actually coming from the East Coast this year, especially in the top 24. I think this is the second South Carolina player, and we had one from North Carolina, obviously, with Berger Kane. Looking at Lorraine, last pick in the first round of the FBA draft, who is the lucky fur to not slip into the second round and earn $3 million this year?
This is a very tough decision.
I mean, 3 million to 1.5 million is still.
I mean, this is the last player to make significant money this year before.
I would say 1.5 million is significant money.
Okay,
I don't even.
1.5 million is significant, and then you take away agent cost, any trainer fees. 1.5.
I mean, if you live in Florida or Texas, you don't have to deal with income taxes.
Well, I don't think that Texas has the pick right now, and Tallahassee sure as heck doesn't unless they trade for it. So, question is, who is the last lucky fur? Do I dare say that name that I've been told not to say?
Don't.
Okay,
Here's the
Will
thing.
you jinx
Michelle's-
them?
I will not jinx him.
Ahem.
There is a player that I shall mention that I think needs to go.
Jones.
But anyways, again, Lorraine has any number of players they could fill. They do need a point guard with potentially Michelle Sundos going into free agency this year. No shock there.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah.
My other thoughts are obviously with their power forward center position, they could reach a little bit down, grab one of them, especially because there's a few still on the cusp. Gage Williams still there.
Gage Williams is there. Let's see who else. Vic Andrews may be really deep, might be a reach, but still reasonable.
Well, Vic Andrews can play both power forward and small forward, which they do need because Edwin is going into free agency. Again, Agundio would probably be able to come back in as a power forward. In their center position,
Or Henrik Fischer.
True.
Fischer.
We'll get there eventually. Just wait. We haven't even
names
gotten
are
to the fun names. Maha Al Sahrari. There's quite a few still to come that are going to cause exuberant pain for the deputy commissioner when he announces them tomorrow. Dano Schwitzshire. Anyways, with Lorraine, I definitely do see. I don't know if they're going to bring back Melbourne, so I think they have to pick a center here. I'm sorry, the who shall not be named. I think it's going to go to a center this year as the last pick of the first round.
Unless, of course, Lorraine decides to surprise us all.
Well, if they do, it'll be because I didn't curse. Thou shall not be named.
That shall not be named until after the pick is made.
Well,
we all know Chris Johnson is going to be picked.
yeah. Actually, I think fanfare, last pick of the first round.
Dun, dun, dun,
Elephant's
dun.
heading on stage.
For the last pick of the first round of the 2017 Furry Basketball Association Draft, the Lorraine Firestorm have selected Ella Blessing, a god horseshoe crab from Elihu University. Congratulations to Ella on being the 24th pick of the 2017 FBA draft, and congratulations to all the individuals who have been selected here in this first round. I hope that all of you will be joining us tomorrow evening for the second round of picks, where we will determine who 25 through 48 shall be. Thank you all for joining us tonight, and have a good evening.
Well, it looks like our strategy worked.
Ella Blessing, Ella Blessing, Ella
Well,
Blessing,
Ella
Ella
Blessing,
Blessing.
Ella Blessing.
I can
Ella
say her
Blessing.
name as many
Ella
times as I
Blessing,
want.
Ella
Ella
Blessing,
Blessing,
Ella Blessing,
now.
Ella Blessing.
Okay, don't overdo it.
Or she might get kicked off the team right
yeah,
after.
well, she might not make it out of the building at the rate we're going.
She might get hit by a falling beam.
So,
Or might suffer one barn
first
roost
round
it.
is done. How about we do each of us? We will pick surprise pick, underrated player like a steal, and we'll go with a player you're looking forward to seeing possibly picked tomorrow. I'll go first, give you guys a chance to think. I think surprise pick was Penich Cole being drafted number 2 by Albany. That was a bit of a surprise seeing him pick so early. I think steal of the draft goes to, I'm going to say Ella Blessing. 24th pick, despite being ranked top 10. Might see some surprises from her if Michelle Sundos does not come back to Lorraine. She might be a starter next year. And as for player I'm looking most forward to seeing possibly picked up tomorrow, I will have to go with one of the few non-top 24 picked, one of the few top 24 not picked, Gary Elsinore, the Crown Lemur, ranked 24th overall as a swing for her. Would be shocked if he's not picked up within the first 5 picks tomorrow. Let's go over to you, Chavez. Who do you think?
So I think that, along with you, Neron was picked too high at number 2. I think that was a bit of a reach. I think there was definitely a lot they could have traded down, still got him. But and then I think Jalen Rose was a steal. I think getting Jalen Rose at number 7 was a steal. Because I feel like if he had gone to any of the other teams, that would have been like a great pick for them. And then for who I'm most looking up to being picked up, Frank Wang. Great defensive player. Again, maybe not the best on offense, but can give any team some good defense at the guard position.
And heading over to you, Witherspoon, what do you think? Surprise, steal, and player to watch for?
I'm gonna go in a little bit reverse order. Like, player I'm looking forward to seeing get drafted tomorrow would be this young kid, Jacobus van Oorschot. I need a scotch. I really do.
I think we all do.
But, yeah. But I think that kid might have some potential, like, underrated talent. He might actually be one of the breakout stars this year. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that. I've been wrong before. That's why I have a plastic hip. But I think he might be a good breakout star. Wait, what was the second one again?
Steele, who was
Steele,
drafted lower than they expected.
Honestly, I would say that would be. I would have to take a guess and say. Well, I would have to agree with you. I would have to say that would be Blessing because she was ranked up high in the top 24, and she got picked in the bottom of the 24. So she's probably going to be a breakout star for Lorraine more than likely, or because she's going to have a chip on her shoulder and wants to prove to the other GMs that you made a mistake in not drafting me.
And the last one
And that-
was surprise. Could be good surprise, bad surprise, just surprise.
Surprise. Honestly, the biggest surprise for me would be just all the trades that have been happening, like Banger trading up to get the first round pick after they traded for Lance Wildfire originally. That was a big surprise this draft.
Not even a surprise player, just a surprise team coming from you.
Just big surprise.
I mean, definitely a lot of movement early in the draft. I'm not too sure the poor commissioner had a chance to really get his footing to start with. But yeah, that concludes the first round of the 2017 FBA draft. 24 picks down, 24 more to go. At the end of the second round tomorrow, we also have the fun of the players being able to accept their contract offers finally. So that will be a double-barreled shot of excitement as the 48th pick is announced. We will be hopefully flooded with players accepting contracts that we can gladly announce. Other than that, I have been Ryan Eastman. I'd like to thank Chavez and Witherspoon as well as Peltz for joining me tonight in the booth. Thank you all so much for coming out and helping.
No problem. It's good to get out for a while and actually start reporting because, well, yeah, it's just good to get out of the house. Stretch my plastic hip and everything.
Yeah. We'll be back same time tomorrow, where the Deputy Commissioner will take over announcing the picks of the 2017 second round. Give the old elephant a chance to catch his breath, perhaps. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a good night.